Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I tell you, hope my microphone acts proper tonight. It's been a little screamish lately here today. I've been on a lot of calls, a lot of Zoom meetings. So I do need this time to softly unwind just a bit. So let's see. I'm looking. Oh, hello there, beautiful. Thank you for joining me this early morning for you. And so I hope that this resonates with you. Yeah, we had really such a good week. Most of the week we talked about intuition. So tonight is going to be gentle, just a message from higher self. So here we go. Good evening, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Soul Sessions. Take a moment with me tonight to pause, breathe in slowly, and gently release. Allow yourself to arrive fully here for a little while. So much of life asks us to constantly move, constantly respond, constantly figure things out. And without realizing it, we can become disconnected from the quieter parts of ourselves. The part that already knows, the part that feels truth before the mind fully understands it. The part of us that does not need to force, chase, or panic, but simply observe, listen, and gently guide. That is this space we're stepping into tonight. This is our higher self message session. And what I love most about this space is that it reminds us that guidance does not always arrive loudly. We so much covered that this week. Sometimes it arrives softly through a feeling, a realization, a moment of stillness, or a quiet inner knowing we almost ignored. If you enjoy reflective spaces such as this, you're always welcome to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and return when soul sessions come around each month. I do this every month, the second full week of the month, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Monday through Friday, every day, different theme, different conversation. Sometimes we pull cards, sometimes we don't. And before we move into the cards tonight, I want to sit with something that I think many people experience during the season of growth and awakening. And that is, big question, what happens when your inner peace becomes more important than external validation? That is huge. And so I'm going to say the question again. What happens when your inner peace becomes more important than validation? And this really comes up when we talk about relationships, especially rocky relationships, especially relationships that we seem to have to put in a lot of work around. Is your peace more important? And the big answer is yes, it is. It is. Choosing peace over validation is one of the biggest shifts we experience in life. Is realizing how much energy we once spent trying to be understood, trying to be accepted, trying to be approved of, or trying to be validated by others. And when you really think about it, that is most of the time. Most of the time, you are so trying to be validated by other people. You're trying to prove yourself right or wrong. You're trying to prove that you can do this job. You're trying to correct your speech so that you can be understood better. Here I am. I'm one of those. You're trying to be accepted in spaces or around a particular group of co-workers or friends. But are you bringing in peace? Are you accepting the peace that's already was within that wants you just to be a little quieter. And let's does not mean not being seen. Be quieter means you don't always have to interject yourself. So the part of exhaustion of seeking validation, oh my goodness, sometimes we don't even realize how exhausting it is until we begin pulling out energy back inwards. Because constantly seeking validation can make us, can make us over explain ourselves, ignore our own feelings, stay connected to things that no longer feel aligned, or question our inner knowing. Let that breathe for a minute. I'm going to listen. If there's anything that you want to add to this, feel free to put it in the chat. I don't mind. Say hello. Let me know that you're here. I'm not looking over there all the time until I'm really ready to open up the space, but the space is always open. But yes, I do want to peek over into the chat. So if you see me looking to my to my right, that's where the chats are. And I'm going to adjust this screen before I move on, so I don't have to turn my head uh too over. All right. Thank you, sweetheart. You are my lullaby. By the way, want to update call follow up. I didn't get the job. I sabotage. No, you didn't sabotage it. Listen, we talked about this. You didn't do anything. Something better is on the way. That wasn't where you were supposed to go. So pick your head up. Yeah, no worries. Pick your head up and let's get the peace back. So we're going to continue. So I'm just going to let us think about these things for a minute. Because when you're trying so hard to validate yourself, you over explain, you ignore your own feelings, and you stay connected to things that no longer feel aligned. We talked about that on Wednesday night. Or you tend to question your inner knowing. And your inner knowing works with your intuition. Okay. Your inner knowing is not ego, because your ego is the one that takes things that doesn't serve you too much and puts it away in a file cabinet. And the ego's job is to remind you of familiar feelings or familiar situations or familiar pictures, mind pictures. As you go along, it will bring those things back up and say, hey, you remember how this particular thing made you feel? And now those same feelings that you thought were laying dormant starts to roll over and gets itself going. So your intuition, your inner knowing is not the same as your ego. Yes, us humans, we are complexed in this spiritual realm. Okay. Inner peace feels different, but inner peace feels different because it doesn't need to convince anyone. It doesn't need to argue. It doesn't need it doesn't need constant reassurance. It's a quiet steadiness to it. So, and often choosing peace means becoming comfortable with not everyone understanding your path. That is me all over the place. That when someone doesn't understand your path, and that is right, because the one that get it out. Okay. The one that you spend time trying to convince what it is that you're doing is actually the one that you are not meant to give the service to or to bring the value to. So when you find your peace, when you actually realize that, hey, look, It's okay that you're not in my corner, or it's okay that you don't understand, because what I have for you isn't for you anyway. It's for the others out there that I have been called to bring a service to. It's for the others out there that I have been called to speak life into. It's for the others out there that I have been called to love on. Not everyone goes to the same physician. And when you understand that about your gift, about your inner knowing, about yourself, peace that comes over you is it's really so unexplainable. But you find out that it was so necessary, because returning to yourself, and I think this is a part of higher self growth. Returning to yourself is learning to trust yourself enough to stop abandoning your own peace, trying to maintain external approval, not from ego, not from isolation, but from alignment. And Belinda, how do you get into alignment all the time? Getting into alignment is so darn simple. And it's so simple that you make it hard. You do. You make it hard with everything that you go through today. The simplest thing to get into alignment is to sit still. 5 minutes. Do your breath work. You breathe in for 4, you hold it for 4, you exhale for 6. You do a round of that for maybe about 2 minutes. And then the next 3 minutes, you're just letting thoughts come in, but you're not trying to talk to those thoughts. You're not trying to argue with those thoughts internally. You let them come up, and then you let them go away. And then as you continue to do that, then you can start getting all kind of fancy with it. You can let it come up. You can even paint it a different color. And then you can watch that color dissolve. That's coming back into alignment with your higher self. That's where your peace is. That's where your comfort is. That's where your knowing is. That's when answers come. That's when guidance come. When reassurance come. That's when you come, and when you open up your eyes, you're able to throw your shoulders back and say, yeah, I know who I am. I know who it is that I'm becoming. I know where it is that I'm going. I feel in love with myself again. I am aligned. I can do certain things. That's when the great big I will, and it's okay, and I allow it. That's what bringing peace to yourself feels like. That's what it means. So tonight, we're not asking the cards. I think I will bring in the cards. So tonight, we're not asking the cards what to do. We're allowing them to reflect what your highest self may already be trying to show you. Okay. So if you have any questions, by all means, put it in the chat. If you have anything that you want to discuss before we do a higher message, go ahead and put it in the chat. I love higher self messages. All right. So I got a call follow up. I didn't get the job. I sabotaged, obviously. Tell me a little bit why you feel that you sabotaged. In fact, let's see. Did you feel like you was holding something back? Yeah, see that? See how it before you answered, the card spoke. You held back. So listen, don't worry about it. You want to know why? Because you're going to get a call back. You're going to get a reconsideration. You're going to get a reconsideration. You know that exercise that I just explained? You're going to do. You're going to clear the energy and get a call back, and or there's another job coming that you are more suited for. My. Okay, message from higher self. I have a lot of pentacles here. We talked about this a lot this week. This is the 8 of pentacles. Now, 8 is fate. Okay. Um, higher self is definitely saying this to someone that's viewing. It doesn't matter when you view, whether you're watching live or the replay. Higher self is definitely saying that you are meticulous. You can do the job. I think this is so for you, Nella. You can do the job. And this is where you have to let go and let fate do the work. You do what you're supposed to do here on the physical realm, and spirit is going to take care of the rest, because the time has come. This is the 7 of pentacles, where you sit, you watch it work, you watch the seed, you sit back and you watch them grow, you watch this, because you have already, so because you've done the work, it's getting ready to reap the harvest. So let's talk about reaping the harvest. Let's talk about seed sown, because definitely this is the message for higher self. There's so many seeds that um, those of you listening have sown, whether they're, let's talk about how we sow the seeds. Thank you, Spirit. You sow seeds by your words. Your words are seeds, and they do not come back void. When you send your words out, that's why your speech, what you say, is so very important. And let's talk about the order of this. First comes the thought. Then when that thought comes, the feelings come into place. Then the body is responding to the thoughts, which brings about emotions. When the emotions rise up enough, then speech comes into play. When the speech comes, that means it is the sound, that means that it is rippling through the atmosphere. You don't need to see it. Um, boy, I need a visual here. Stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, need a visual. All right. Have an instant. Right now, I am going to write in the atmosphere. I'm writing abundance. A-U-B. No, I didn't even. ABUNDANCE. Okay. Did you see that? No. Did I write it in the atmosphere? I sure did. Now, when you have this, hopefully you can see the smoke of the incense. All right. No, you see the flame. Okay. This is how space is. This is why energy work is so important. Okay. You see the smoke from the incense? Same thing. Bippity boppity boop. Abundance. ABUNDANCE. Still there. You can see it. You may not be able to see it on camera, but If you're in the room and if you do this exercise, you can write in the space. You can write. There's all this space out here. You only see what you. Sorry, I'm putting the instant down. Don't want to burn anything here on my desk. I remember when this was brought out to me. You only see the outside edges. You see the edges of your body. You see the edges of the computer screen, the microphone, everything around you, everything that you could identify as a thing. You're only seeing the edges. It is taking up space, but it's the space that you can't see with your physical eyes is so much greater than the things that you can see edges and colors and visions to. So your words are going out into the space that does not have the edges that you can't see. And the words, when you send them out, they will go and accomplish and do what they were sent out to do. It's magical in a sense, but this is what it is. It's a vibration, it's waves, it's energy going. And just because you can't hear it anymore doesn't mean that those words have stopped. It's just not the way it works. It's just like the wind. You cannot see the wind, but you can feel it. You can hear it only because it rattles through the trees, it rattles through the leaves, and it picks things up, and you can see the swaying of plants or things that are very light that can move with the wind. If you're out there in the ocean, you don't know that a breeze is coming until you look out at the ocean and you now see the waves come in, and then you'd be like, oh my goodness, the waves, the air that you can't see is actually moving the water. Great example. I don't know if you ever had a chance to be out in the ocean where there's an airfield. I like to go to Navarre, Florida, and Fort Walton and Pensacola. They always have the aircraft, the jets go over, and when the Blue Angels are practicing and they go over the ocean, this rippling sound goes through the air first. And when they over, you can literally count to 10 before the big waves that comes now. And now the big waves come. The ocean was so sound. And it's amazing. This is the way how you think your soft, even your soft ripples through the space, and they shall not return void. Now, remember something that I said as I was explaining at the very beginning. First, it starts with a thought. Then the thought that you have internally has a picture, and it has feelings, and it has energy. And when all of that combines and makes this beautiful picture within, then it comes out as speech. And with all that emotion, that's why it's so important to control your temper. With all that emotion that comes out in the words and it ripples through the air, it shall accomplish what it was sent out to do. And here's the thing about source energy. It knows no jokes. So when you say something, oh, I was just kidding, ha ha ha. Well, it's funny to you, but the universe only knows how to give you what you asked for. So, yes, my dear, you felt that you sent off energy that you did not want, but do not despair because it can be corrected. You can send out another seed back out into the atmosphere. Guess what? You can speak it, you can pick it up, and you can write it. You can write a time, whether it's incense or whether it's my selenite wand. And it doesn't have to be a selenite wand. You don't even have to do it with a crystal. For crying out loud, you can do it with a toothpick. You could do it with your finger. We do it all the time. In fact, if you're a Christian, you didn't even know that you was doing it, but you was doing it when you put your hands up in prayer. You're moving energy. You don't believe me? Fan your face and see if you feel something. So, higher self messages tonight is plant the seeds. The seeds that you have planted, you cannot see what happens. Now, going to bring it back into a real plant, seed time and harvest. When you plant the seed, you do not see the roots grow in the dirt unless you plant the seed in a clear plastic cup or in a jar. And not even then do you see the roots forming. You have to let fate or faith, however you want to put it, you have to let it have its way. You have to let the universe do its job. You have to let source send out its mighty guides, its angels, its helpers, however you want to call it. We have them. You have to let them do their job. You have to let things get put into place because everything does happen for your good. And it will happen for your good if that's the way you choose to believe. If you choose to believe that everything bad will happen, guess what? Isn't that a seed that you just planted? Yes. So, therefore, you can expect for things never to go your way. But changing that mindset is really simple and it's easier than what you think. It simply starts with breathing exercises. Okay. Again, you inhale for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 6. 2 minutes of that, and then start focusing on your heartbeat. Focus on your heartbeat, you're clearing your mind, you're giving your focus to one thing, and then you allow the thoughts to come up and out, and you rest. And then once you get used to that, I'll say do that for about 5 days, 5 minutes. If you want to do it more than 5 minutes, I would say just do it in 5 minute spurts. Maybe 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes before you go to bed. You will start to notice big energy shifts. You will start to notice that you're starting to hear a little clearer now, that you're starting to get answers better, that your energy and your aura have changed, that now you have this peace that surpasses all understanding now come to your space. And it is a wonderful thing. All right, that is my time for tonight. I appreciate you being here. If there is nothing else, I give you another minute to put anything in the chat if you want to, and I will review it. All right, so take a minute and notice how you feel after that, and it's so good. It's something. Thanks, but for me was weird because I thought I it was a view. Let me pull a card for you for a minute. Because I'm still getting the sense that you're going to get a call back. You're going to get a call back. The Ace of Swords. Not only are you going to get a call back, but something else is there for you. We talked about this before that the ace and the little things hanging down is the yod, which is we just got finished talking about the word of God, the word of source, the word of energy, and it's being gifted. It's being gifted. These thoughts, these feelings, these emotions is being gifted. You don't have too much to worry about, and if I was you, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, I want this job. I have found it's the best for me because of criteria, but they found somebody else. You're going to get a call back, and this is not the only job. It's just not the only job. Remember this. And this is also speaking to me too, because I've gone through this quite a lot. That things that I, especially on material things that I thought that I really wanted and was disappointed when I didn't receive it. I began to feel dejected. I began to feel like prayer doesn't work, or the universe didn't hear me, or I wasn't good enough. I kept getting ready to throw out all types of reasons why. When the truth is, I was always being not really set up, I'm going to use that. I was always being set up for something better. And it was always because I forgot the cardinal rule. Yes, I want this. When you set your desires out, I want this as something better. The something better is just so right around the corner. But sometimes our feelings are so hurt that we don't even want to look around the corner because we think that we know what's best for us. And that is so not true. You got to remember that the highest self is the highest self for a reason, because the highest self has already gone before you. Has already gone before you, therefore it knows what's best for you. Remember, there's always that guide, the spirit that paves the way, parts the Red Sea before you would even get there, to make sure that your way is made straight, to make sure that you don't have to prep too hard, that you don't have to fuss, that you don't have to fight, that you don't have. We do so much. And it seems so unfair when we look at someone that we considered rich or well off, and we be like, dang, they don't do nothing. It's true. They don't do nothing because they figured out that all that they have to do is think about it, feel good about it, and let it come. Think about it, feel good about it, and let it come. Think about it, feel good about it. Oh, energy says or source says, do this. Okay, they got an inspired action. They do that inspired action, they think about it, feel good about it, and let it come. That's it. That's all we were told to do. Doesn't matter what book you read. Doesn't matter if it came from the Bible, the Quran, the um, Yetzirah, the Jewish Bible. It doesn't matter. The program is so always the same. Think about it. Feel good about it. Do inspired action. Inspired action, not what you think should be done. Inspired action, and let it go. All right. So, sweetheart, I know this was a slight disappointment, but don't despair. Just take the attitude is there's something better around the corner. And I know that it's mine. And it's going to be better than I ever thought it would. So, as we close tonight for higher self messages, remember that peace is not weakness, peace is clarity, peace is alignment, peace is learning to trust what feels true within you, even when the outside world is noisy. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me tonight and throughout this soul session week. We'll gather again during the second week of next month. Until then, move gently, protect your peace, and continue listening to the quiet wisdom already living within you. Good night, beautiful souls, and I will see you soon. At the top of the chat, if you need to scroll down, if you would like to book a one on one session with me, you can do so at www.tenmustardseeds.com. Same way that is spelled on the YouTube channel. All right. Good night. Have a good weekend until what's next month? June. Wow. All right. Halftime. Half the year is gone. See you in June, loves. Bye bye.